The midwife said some unintelligible words that reverberated throughout the room. Everyone cheered, and many had tears of joy in their eyes. They were hugging one another triumphantly. Meanwhile, Derek lay completely still in the midwife's arms. He looked at everything and everyone in the room, trying to assess the situation and how bad it could potentially get for him. Well, 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 this is new. The woman in the bed must be my mother. That is, she's this baby's mother. He saw the bed was covered in blood, urine, and feces. She really needs a bath, he thought. He then took a look at the rough-looking, crying man by her side. I bet he's the father. I wonder if he's crying because he's happy I'm here, or because he's scared he almost lost his wife. I'm sure it's the latter, he thought bitterly. I'm sure I'm not an only child. I'm one more mouth to feed. A complication. As if in answer to his thoughts, a young boy and girl entered the room and rushed to hug the woman lying in the bed. Damn it, he thought. This is even worse than I imagined. I guess I only have two choices. Option 1, live with this family and fight for available resources. Starvation is a real possibility. And of course, once I grow up, I'll be forced to work, get married, have children, and lead a miserable life. Option 2, wait until I can move and grab a sharp object so I can put myself out of my misery and have another shot at reincarnation. Who knows, I might get a better life. Option 2 sounds like the winner. While Derek was lost in his thoughts, the room grew quieter. The midwife finished cleaning the baby and wrapping him up in a clean cloth. Everyone looked concerned. Derek didn't understand why until he remembered that he hadn't made a single sound. No crying. No laughing. Nothing. That was weird for a baby. His new mother made some remarks and tried to get up, ignoring her pain. The midwife shushed her, gently pushing her back to bed. She pointed to Derek, removed the cloth covering him, and gave him a soft spank to make him cry. Derek grunted in indignation. Do you want to play rough, old hag? He thought. Let's play then. You just activated my trap card. Twin flood incoming. Derek made a little sound and relieved both his bowels and bladder onto the midwife. The poop landed all over her feet while the urine covered her face and chest. Derek giggled loudly. The midwife was not amused. She said something while handing the baby to another woman to clean him. Derek couldn't stop giggling. He was proud of his work. After washing her face with warm water in a cloth, the midwife moved her left index finger and drew a circle in the air, striking it through in the middle from right to left. Then she pronounced a single word. Ekidu. Black light appeared on her fingertip. She pointed it over her wet dress and her shoes, making the feces and urine disappear alongside their smell. Derek was shocked, his mouth agape in surprise. He saw his work disappear and turn into dust. It was like watching those time-lapse videos in which a seed transformed into a flower in a matter of seconds. Merlin's beard. She's not just a midwife. She's also a real magician. I can't believe I'm seeing one in the flesh. Perhaps I was wrong, and this could be the best of my 3 lives, he thought, ecstatic. Derek has never been so happy. Not only because this world had magic, but also because, when he heard the word Ekidu, he felt something click inside of him. He could feel something taking root deep in his soul. Now he was ingrained in the very fabric of his new reality. He repeated the word obsessively inside his head and tried to recall every detail of the circular movement she'd made with her finger. The midwife approached the mother and said some words while putting her hands above her intimate parts. It was obvious the old woman was going to heal her. Is she going to do more magic? He thought happily. Show me, please, he said in his mind. The midwife spread her fingers wide and moved both arms in a circular motion, first up over her head. Then, she opened her arms as much as she could before joining her hands, palm against her backhand, at her navel's height. Venire lacat. Despite being all wrapped up, Derek attempted to mimic all of the midwife's movements, step by step, memorizing every single detail, no matter how small. A sphere of light covered Derek's mother's lower body, and she quickly recovered her health. Her pale skin became pink again, and all the traces of pain and exhaustion disappeared from her face. Derek could feel another click inside of him. First, there'd been the dark magic, but now he could feel a connection to light magic by simply hearing the power word. He could not stop grinning. If, and this is a big if, I have enough magical talent, I wouldn't have to live a life of misery, he thought. I could become a magician and live it up for the first time in my life. No shackles, no responsibilities, but it's better not to get my hopes up too much. With my luck, I'll end up completely untalented or... His train of thought was abruptly interrupted when he was handed over to his mother. She looked at him with concern while saying something to the midwife. Derek was sure she was worried about him, although he couldn't understand what she was saying. After his mother finished speaking, the mood in the room changed and everyone appeared gloomy. Derek was afraid he was responsible for this change. Eager to stay here and try to become a magician, he decided to play the part of a bouncing baby boy. He did his best baby impression. He giggled, smiled, and made cute sounds. The midwife, who went by Nana, felt a little hurt by Alina's obvious doubt in her abilities, but it wasn't the first time she'd dealt with an anxious mother. She'd known Alina since she was a child and had delivered all her babies. This had been one of the most difficult deliveries of her career. The labor had lasted for hours, and she'd been forced to cast healing spells multiple times to stop the bleeding. When she could finally see the baby's head, she'd known something was wrong. Alina was fighting with all her strength, but the baby was limp. So, Nana had to use her hands to pull out the baby as fast as she could, only to discover that he was being strangled by his own umbilical cord. After cutting and removing the umbilical cord, Nana had tried all of her best spells, but nothing had worked. For a terrible, long minute, Nana had believed the child was dead. But then, the healing light finally activated and made the baby puke, clearing his airway. Upon seeing him take a breath, Nana could finally relax. After all, healing magic couldn't do miracles. It could enhance a patient's life force, making it easier for them to recover from illness or injury. But it could not create life or cheat death. He will be okay, won't he? Alina asked. He's so quiet. It's unnatural for a baby to be like that. Nana understood that Alina didn't need a lesson in magic. She just wanted to be reassured about her child's health. Worry not, my child, she said. I can prove to you that all is well with your baby. Nana caressed Alina's cheek while giving her a warm smile. She took the infant from his mother's arms and removed his cloth as if she was revealing a treasure. She carefully adjusted the boy in the crook of her left arm, then circled her open right hand around him and said, Venire ra tu. A small wisp of light came out of her palm, dancing around the baby before going inside his chest. The light spread from head to toe, making him glow with a dim light. See? If there was even a scratch on his body, my injury-detecting spell would leave that area blank. Your son is fine. The burst of energy flowing through his body made Derek feel more powerful. In his old life, he rarely felt that. He felt powerful when he got his degrees, when he finally left his parents' home, and when he beat up bullies. However, the power and control he'd felt had been fleeting. Now it was different, more than adrenaline. Real magic, real power was coursing through every fiber of his being, making him feel invincible. So when the spell started disappearing, he wanted it to keep going. No, come back to me. Give me back my power, he thought. He focused on the last strands of energy, willing them to stay. He was unable to cast the spell on his own, but he could still feel its lingering effects. Derek's light stopped flickering. Instead, it grew stronger and stronger. The midwife appeared dumbfounded. Derek wanted it to last forever, but the exhaustion got to him, and he fell asleep. The light faded completely. Nana wrapped up the baby and returned him to his mother's embrace. Elena was confused and full of wonder.
Nana, what was that?
She asked. The old healer had no idea how to answer. Many possibilities popped up in her head, but they were complicated and would make Elena worry needlessly. It had been a long day, and she was eager to finish it. So, she borrowed a line from her childhood's favorite fairy tale.
My child, I think the baby may be blessed by the light. There is no need to worry, only to rejoice.